Hi, this is Tinlicker, and you're watching Guettapen TV.
Salut les amis, on est au Badaboum aujourd'hui et on reçoit un duo très spécial venu tout droit des Pays-Bas, puisque ce sont les Tinlicker. Donc on a hâte de voir leur concert ce soir et on va leur poser quelques questions avant leur show ce soir. Hi guys, so we are Guettapen. We are really happy to see you here today. And I want to start my interview with you, telling you that I was there in 2019 at Western Uni.
Okay.
At ADE. I don't know if you remember, it was like really small
Basement.
Yep. And I remember that Pavo from Above and Beyond was here also dancing with us, and it was one of the best night I had in my life.
Because of Pavo?
because of the whole setup was crazy, so yeah, we are really excited to have you here today. Is it your first time in Paris?
No, I've been here as a tourist.
Okay.
And I'm also in a drum and bass group, so I've played here a few times. But for him, it is.
It's my first time in Paris.
Okay. What have you heard about Paris? Like the crowd and the...
Only good things.
Okay, perfect.
He's still looking for the Eiffel Tower.
Did you have time to sightsee a bit? Okay.
No.
I hope you will have a bit of time, yeah. I have a question. Where do you find all these cool shirts that you have on stage?
It's a secret.
It's secret. do you have a Vinted or something where I can buy some?
Now there's a Dutch shop called Blackfish in our hometown, and they kind of sell most of these shirts. And then
okay, so tonight there are going to be some special shirts again, probably. Okay, I've seen on Discogs that you have a really long way in the electronic music scene. Can you tell us a bit more about your influences? And because I've seen you are making music from the beginning of 20s, kinda. What are your influences?
Well, I was a teenager in the 90s, so I grew up with Chemical Brothers, Underworld, The Prodigy, Front 2 for 2, but also things like Tricky or Portishead or...
Okay.
And I liked metal and grunge.
Okay.
So, I don't know, that was my influence. And then I started making drum and bass. That's how I started making electronic music. But his story is totally different.
Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so I actually grew up with hardcore gabber music.
Okay.
So I was a gabber in the 90s.
Okay.
And then I started to, I still am.
Are you still into that genre? Or
I like it, but I don't listen to it anymore.
Okay.
And now, then I fell in love with trance music in the 2000s. And then it became like more club music and house music. So I always came from electronic dance music, from hard to a little bit softer.
Okay. Are you gonna be even more softer by time, or?
Who knows?
Okay.
I don't know yet.
And how did you guys met? And because as you say, drum and bass, trance, hardcore. How do you come to Tinlicker now?
I was on an AA meeting. No.
Hi.
So actually, Misha started the Tinlicker solo first in 2011, 2012, and then he made his first Tinlicker album. And then we had the same PR agent at that time, because I was releasing a solo EP with my other alias. And then she told me, like, hey, you know Misha from, he's doing a new act, and you should meet up because it's the similar sound.
Okay.
And then actually we just met. We went to a bar, had a couple of drinks, and then actually the next day we talked about going to the studio together. So.
And it clicked, like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was no pressure, so we could, jam away.
Do you want to add something?
Yeah, no, we went to a bar, and then we found out we had a lot of similar friends, which was really weird. So after the bar, we went to a club.
How did I never met you before?
Yeah, I mean, it's more...
He's always touring, actually.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Like, I was never at parties or anything, but it's all people we know through this one big club in Utrecht, and I don't know. A lot of them became my friends, and it was the same for him, but somehow we never met. And then we went there that night, and we're like, what? You guys know each other? It's like,
whoa.
Yeah. So
okay, cool. And I've seen that the beginning of Tinlicker you released on your own label.
Yeah.
How did it come to the point to release on Anjuna Beat and Armada? What was the idea between switching from your own label to big labels like this?
Well, I started Tinlicker just as a side project next to drum and bass to keep me inspired. So there was no goal, and because it sounded different from techno or the trance or that was around, it was really hard to find a label that was actually be like, oh yeah, I like your music, which is in between everything. Let's release it. So people were thinking
they didn't want you to.
Not really, no. And then I was like, well, just release it myself. And then we were like, maybe that's not the way, because if you start your own label, you don't have a fan base. So it's nice to join a label that actually has a following and that you can bring your name out. And so we decided it's probably a better move to
try to sign,
get your music out there and get some help from people that know the scene a lot better than I did, at least, because I wasn't releasing drum and bass, which is a total different genre. So,
Was it hard to convince Anjuna to release your first single at that time?
Well, Soon You Be Gone, or was it Nothing Without You? Soon You Be Gone.
Yes.
I think when we sent that track, they actually really liked it, but it was up till that point, getting people to appreciate that we were in between a lot of styles, it was hard, because people were not really open to the idea yet. And now, X amount of years later, it seems like it's a normal thing, which is really cool. But yeah, I don't know. It was hard in the beginning. Just people didn't know if they should put us on a house night or a trance night or a techno night. People were confused, and we didn't really care. We just felt like we had to make music that we liked and kept on going.
And you were releasing a lot on Anjuna and Armada. How were you choosing where to sign?
We were just sending the music out, and
they were like, yeah,
I like this or I don't. And then when we signed to Armada, Anjuna, at some stage we signed an album deal, so then you're locked to the label.
And you have been really prolific that time, 2017 until today. How do you work in the studio? How do you spare task?
I make tea, and then he bakes the cookies.
We have a ghost producer now. No, actually, we like to work separate.
Okay.
And together as well. So a lot of ideas come from me or from Misha, and then we just basically send each other ideas, and then during the week we finish the songs. So we go into the studio from Monday till Tuesday till Thursday, and then hopefully we finish new music, and then we go on tour.
Yeah. And you repeat again.
Yes. And we usually like to go to one times a year or like 2 times a year. We go to we go out for a week producing in a house somewhere, on the beach.
With friends or with other
No,
producer?
with the 2 of us.
Okay, just the 2 of us.
Just a week with him, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And then basically just only there to get inspired and make music.
Okay. You choose a specific location that will inspire you, kinda?
Yeah, well, somewhere far away from where we live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just no distractions from your everyday routine,
Okay.
No girlfriends or kids or...
Just you and the music, yeah.
Yeah, and then you can go to bed whenever you want and not feel obligated that you have to go home and cook.
I want to talk about the success of Because You Move Me. Because it was released actually in 2017 and it became really huge in 2020. How did you feel about that, afterward success than from the original release? What happened to this track, and how do you explain that this became such a buzz?
Well, it started on TikTok.
Okay.
So people were using it under dancing videos.
Okay.
And so it was a kind of popular song on TikTok at some point, and then it started on Instagram.
Okay.
We noticed it on Instagram too, and then the German soccer team, the Mannschaft, used it in one of their videos on Instagram, and then it kind of exploded.
Wow, it's crazy.
And it was a complete surprise for us.
Have you found the originator of how it began on TikTok, or you still don't know at that time?
We don't know. No.
But the whole track, when it got released, it kept on growing and kept on growing, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, it has quite a lot of plays already, and then all of a sudden it became popular on TikTok, and then it kind of exploded. But
Yeah,
the whole process too, the first 2.5 years, it just kept on growing, and I don't know.
Yeah, like a snowball, actually.
Yeah, and so it helped the whole music that you made in between to also be more exposed to the public. Did you felt this also?
Yes and no. I mean, we don't really make that many tracks like Because You Move Me, so people that are actually really into that song maybe sometimes are surprised with like, oh, I don't really like any of the other tunes. No, but I don't know. It's cool to get new fans that way, but for us it's more like we never expect the tune to become as big as it is, and it's strange because our music career is 5 years later, and it's a nice surprise, but it's not something we expected, and we just embrace it, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, and they were also a really big hit, more in the trance and progressive scene with the remix of Children that you made that became really popular.
Yeah.
Did you have a specific connection with that original track, and do you want to also make other remixes of trance classics?
Well, we remixed a lot of songs at a certain point because we wanted to play our own music in our sets. So we basically made a lot of edits and remixes. And when I was a young kid, I can remember I was 14 years old, sitting in my parents' house. I bought the CD single of Children, and I played it like the whole day. I was like, wow,
this music?
This is amazing. So for me, it's I feel old when I listen to it, but I always wanted to do something with children. So actually, a funny story is that the remix was made in Prague when we played the Prague set in 2019. It was made in the hotel room.
Before the show.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Quick production skills.
I was sleeping.
Yeah. It was like, look what I made while you were sleeping. Oh, shit.
But he has that drive sometimes that he can't sleep, and because something pops in his head, and he just goes for it. And I was tired.
Yeah, having a hangover.
2 hours later, he finished it.
And the reaction was amazing that night. It should be like something crazy. Like, I just made it 2 hours ago, and
yes, it was really weird. Like, I was actually kind of nervous to play it.
Yeah, okay. Because it's such a classic. Sometimes the trance scene doesn't really.
Yeah.
How can you touch that?
Yeah, exactly. If you fuck it up, can I say that?
Yeah, you can.
You're. That's not good.
Okay. So talking about the another lifetime tour that you are doing, and that we are here for tonight. Can you describe the setup that you prepare for the shows? Because I've seen there is a lot of instrument. How do you spare the task between each other?
Well, there's a computer doing everything, and then we just stand there as puppets.
A ghost.
No, we wanted to do something else besides DJing.
Okay.
Challenge ourselves, and also turn it more into a concert than a night show where people just go to see that one act, and then it's a different atmosphere and also a different experience. So, and then at last Amsterdam dance event, we had a tryout.
Okay.
And we had a setup, and then afterwards we're like, actually we want to do more live. So now Jordi has 2 keyboards and like 3 controllers in which he controls how the tracks progress, like which sections are being played, and he can filter, and he plays some of the live instruments, and I have like a drum computer and a keyboard, and also like a MIDI controller where I can add like drum loops or play a bit of the drums and play some melodies and stuff. So if we don't do anything, some tracks become pretty boring. But there's always the basis, because we can't do everything live, So most of the time the kick, drum, and the bass lines are just a computer, and then we, Okay.
And we are tonight is like more concert show hours. Do you feel that your music is more for that kind of hour, or do you still want to be like more club orientated?
I think it's both. I mean, like I said, it's nice to bring it as a performance, where you don't have to mix one tune into the other. Where like a band, you can actually have like a big climax and then it stops, and then you remember it or you experience the whole track differently when it's not mixed. And when it's a part of a night where there's 6 DJs in a row and the night keeps on going. This is like a 2-hour window, and this is what you get, and be like, okay, this was Tinlicker, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to add something? Or?
Yeah, I guess it's about balancing doing DJ sets and live shows. So it gets interesting for us. We get inspired by live shows as well. We get inspired by DJ shows, and a good balance would be nice.
Okay. So thank you for your time, guys. We really can't wait to see you tonight performing, and also we are excited to see you at Tomorrowland also this summer. There is a crazy schedule for you. What are the next things that we can expect from you coming this year?
Music-wise?
Yeah. And shows also?
Oh.
There is new music coming this year.
Okay.
And we are making a lot of new songs now.
Okay.
So...
a lot of things.
And a lot of shows. We have a pretty tight schedule.
As you are coming from Utrecht, do you have as a goal to play at the Jarbers one day, or?
Not particularly.
It's like our church, kinda, you know.
There is a festival in the Netherlands called Lowlands, which we both go to as visitors. He played there with his drum and bass act. I DJ'd there once with something else.
Okay.
But in the end, we would like to play there as Tinlicker.
Okay. Thank you, guys, and wish you a good live tonight.
Thank you too.
Thanks for coming.
C'était Tinlicker et vous étiez sur Guettapen TV et on se retrouve très bientôt pour de nouvelles interviews.